North Reading Garden Club presents our annual Silver Tea. Aldersgate United Methodist Church, November 12th, 2009. Tonight's program begins with a Williamsburg Christmas presented by Priscilla Styer, followed by greetings from the President, introduction of noted guests. Priscilla Styer, recognized floral designer and teacher for over 20 years, will transport us to Williamsburg, Virginia, as she designs holiday arrangements for the home. This presentation of ideas will inspire you to create the charm of Williamsburg in your own holiday decorating. Refreshments served with a gift raffle basket.
Welcome you all to our annual Silver Tea. I see some familiar faces and some new faces, and that's always good. The raffle basket, there will still be tickets for sale after our speakers talk, and her arrangements will be raffled off as well as baskets. And without further ado, I would like to introduce Charlene Mallett to introduce our speaker for the evening.
Welcome to the Silver Tea of the North Reading Garden Club. This is a very special evening for all of us, and we're so happy that you could join us. As you can see by the wonderful presentation out in the hall, it is an evening with teacups, silver service, and delicious desserts made by our members. In addition, the raffle baskets were all put together by various groups within our club as well. And it gives me great pleasure tonight that we have Priscilla Styer with us. Priscilla and I have had a little friendship that's budding over the past year and a half. It was a year and a half ago that Priscilla filled in for another speaker who was unable to come at the last moment to one of our meetings. And that evening, Priscilla did designs from the country of India. Her designs were different, they were inspirational, and they were just absolutely magnificent. And each and every one of us were hoping that our ticket would be chosen at the end of the evening for the raffle. There was one arrangement in particular that was rather tall and had a very unusual plant. And I'll have to defer to Priscilla for the full name, but it went by the name of King Kong. And I kept thinking to myself, well, good luck to the person that can get that into their car. Well, lo and behold, well, Priscilla, it was a conversational piece. I had people on the spur of the moment that weekend. I said, you have got to come over to my home and see what I have. Well, of course, my friends here in the club kind of know that my husband doesn't like a lot of surprises. So he walked in the home and said, what is that? I said, well, it's King Kong. Where did you get that from? So I went through the whole thing, and it became quite a conversation piece, provide a lot of humor as well as beauty to our home. So Priscilla, based on that evening, I knew we had to have you back again. Priscilla is a designer with over 20 years of experience. She began her professional career as a teacher, teaching young children the academics that they needed to have to pursue their adult careers. Inside, though, she had this passion for design and artwork, and she was just waiting for that to have that opportunity to really flourish. Well, now she is a fabulous designer. She has won blue ribbons at the Topsfield Fair. She has participated in Art and Bloom at the Museum of Fine Arts, and she currently teaches at Northern Essex Community College. She inspires adults in her teaching now. In our conversations, Priscilla and I were talking about the program for this evening. And we were talking, and I've always wanted to think that I could go to Williamsburg at Christmas time. Well, Priscilla said she could bring Williamsburg to North Reading. So our program tonight is the Williamsburg Christmas. And Priscilla's arrangements will focus on the use of mixed greens, fruits, and of course, the pineapple, the sign of hospitality. I'm sure that you're going to enjoy Priscilla's flair for design her sense of creativity, and her unusual plant choices. So I know that you're going to go home with those inspirations to decorate your home for a Williamsburg Christmas. Priscilla, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you tonight, and please join me in welcoming Priscilla.
In the outside of your house. In Williamsburg, they focused on only what they had in hand. They didn't have craft shops, they didn't have the flower market in Boston, they didn't have Michael's or Christmas tree, so they went to nature to provide their decorations, and most of their designs are focused on nature. This first piece that I'm going to do is called a door fan, and they would use fresh fruits and greens. The fruits, if you should put this outside, the fruit does not last very long and it tends to rot very quickly. So what I've done for tonight is I'm going to use lifelike, not artificial, but lifelike. And this way you can keep it outdoors. Now these leaves are about 5 days old. So this is the way they're going to stay. It's magnolia. Magnolia grows like this. It's green, but the Williamsburg colonials chose to use the backside quite often because of its velvet texture and rich color. So this is what we're going to work with. These, I'll show you the back. These are stapled on to the back of a wood frame so that you have just the velvety look in the front. So I'm going to kind of work forward and backward here so we can all get to see. I can give you something that's somewhat symmetric. They start out by it's always working in the round. They're very pattern oriented and they tend to just work around. It's very patterned. They were people that were very regimented. You can see in their homes, in their dress. They were very concerned with order. I don't know if you've never been to Williamsburg. The streets are ordered, the commons are ordered. It's all their life was very ordered and regimented. So their designs reflect the same. So here we have the same, the round. Everything is done in the round. Now, originally they were done with nails. And I've created a little different system. It's a little easier because you can be more spontaneous. I've used chicken wire. This is my new best friend, chicken wire. And with the chicken wire, let me turn it to the people over here, you can just stick your pieces right in the chicken wire. You don't have to be standing there with a nail or hammer or a staple gun. They just stick right in there. It's pretty easy to get your patterns and your designs going. I've also got another piece that I'm going to do in the chicken wire. A couple more pieces I'm going to do with my newfound best friend. I'm sure in Williamsburg they did not use it for what I'm using it for, but for us contemporary designers. This is boxwood that I'm starting with. Boxwood grows very nicely around here and all through Virginia. And the boxwood will last quite a while. So creating something very symmetrical. Just build a little bit here. This is giving you the look of the fan. Like I said, I'm going to be using the Lifelike. I work for a company that does, at Christmas time, I'm their designer, and I do work that's for, they do private homes and corporate offices, and we never say artificial. It's always lifelike. It's kind of a joke. So we're going to start with these gorgeous, now look at that, you just pop it right in there and it's done. How easy No planning where you want your nails. Oh, one down here. Because the first time I did this, I had to put the whole thing together first and then make sure the nails were in the right places, because otherwise it wouldn't look right. Your design would be off-centered. Just lift up that chicken wire. These came on metal pegs, so they're you can bend them off a little bit. Turn it so that he's in the right spot. Easy way. This, once you get it to the stage where you have coerced your husband into cutting the piece of wood and painting it for you, it's pretty quick. Like I said, they're very into symmetrical. And this pair is going to go in this way. I'm going to fill in with a little more boxwood. And I'm also going to add some white pine. This interesting thing I learned about white pine, that it's all the years I've been playing with white pine, and we all grew up with white pine around here, is that white pine, every clump of needles, every little clump has five pieces in it. W-H-I-T-E, of white pine. Isn't that interesting? I'll have to turn this around because I'm right-handed. Some of this I can do from the back. This is, I wanted to show you, this is the tall piece, or the end piece, so very often you get a piece that's this tall. What you can do is cut it in the middle, pull off some of the end pieces here, and they just close right up and you've got two pieces now. I'm sorry, take it away from me for a minute. I just want to fill in a little bit more with the boxwood, and then we're going to add rose hips. These are also lifelike. And to accent some of this, I've taken some magnolia leaves and put them on a wooden